All right, guys, we're back again. I know you guys clicked on this because you are about to go on a cruise and you want to make sure that it is smooth sailing on embarkation day. Well, you clicked on the right video. Let's get right into it. Okay.
Okay, so today we're going to give you some tips that are going to make your embarkation day go smoothly. So, these first couple of tips are going to be about pre boarding. So, the first thing you need to make sure that you do is get familiar with Carnival's online check in process. So, 2 weeks before your embarkation day, you're going to get an email to go ahead and set up your online check in. So, you're going to set up your onboard account, you're going to upload your documents. If you're using a passport, they're going to ask you for an emergency contact, things of that nature. So go ahead and get that done. You're also going to select your boarding time. So make sure that you get that done. If you select the last boarding time of the day, do not wait until 2:30 to get to the ship. You need to be there at least an hour and a half, 2 hours beforehand because they will shut down boarding and they will leave you. So the next tip is make sure everyone in your party downloads the Carnival Hub app. And this is where you're going to get all of your information once you're on board the ship. It's going to give you a ship map. It's going to let you see all the activities that are going on that day, and it's sorted out by day. And you can go in and favorite those activities. And if your bookings are linked, then you can see what other people in your party have favorited. That way maybe you guys can link up and go to bingo or celestial strings or whatever it is. You'll also be able to go on there and see the menus for all of the dining restaurants.
And don't be like me. Do not wait till you get on the ship. You won't have great reception and it'll be real hard to kind of download the stuff. And that Carnival Hub app actually does like keep up with everything. So it's always cool to see what everybody has checked to see if we all want to go to it, kind of have your date planned out and all your reservations and all that kind of stuff.
So the next tip is to print your boarding passes, print your luggage tags, and these are the luggage tag holders that we use. They have this metal ring on here that's kind of hard, it's hard to pull off. If you just put your luggage tag on there and staple it, once you give it to the porters, there's a strong possibility that that luggage tag can be ripped off, and then it's going to take you a long time to get your luggage because one, they're not going to know who it belongs to. So at the end of them putting out all the luggage, they're just going to take it to an area like a holding area. Then you have to go up there and search through all of that luggage. So use a luggage tag holder.
The next thing is book Carnival specialty dining before you get on the ship.
Yes. So if you are celebrating a special occasion, your birthday, your anniversary, whatever it may be, and let's say your birthday's on the 13th and you want to go to the steakhouse on the 13th, go ahead and book that before you get on the ship just to be sure that you have the date and the time that you actually want to be there. If you wait till you get on the ship, it is completely possible that your time, your date is going to be booked up.
Yeah. Those things they pretty much book up really fast. So the earlier you can do that, which is why downloading the app and everything matters. The earlier you can do that, the better chance you have of getting a specific time and a specific date.
All right, this is one of the most important things that you can do for your pre embarkation process. Arrive a day early, especially if you are flying. With the way that flights have been getting canceled, delayed lately, we always recommend coming in a day early. We drive to the port, but we still drive down a day early. There recently, last week, a girl on TikTok flew the day of her cruise. Her flight got delayed. The airline put her on another flight, but it took an hour and a half for her to get her luggage. By the time she got her luggage, that flight had already left, so she missed her cruise. Now she wants Delta to refund her flights and her cruise, and she didn't have travel insurance. Don't be like her.
Yeah, I know it's a maybe an extra expense to get a hotel, but you don't have to get a fancy hotel. You can get a decent. I'm not going to say cheap, but economy friendly hotel because you don't want to. You just paid thousands of dollars. In a lot of cases, you don't want to miss that ship. And also, just going in a day early gives you time to not be with all the stress. And you have time to kind of chill before you head over to the ship. But coming in, we've done it before, like drove through the night and the stress of driving, getting there, worried about are we going to get there on time, then dealing with getting on the ship was not the start to our vacation that we really wanted. So we definitely always come in a day early.
So these next set of tips are going to be for your actual embarkation day. So, the first thing that you want to make sure you do is pack your embarkation day survival kit. And we'll have a video linked at the end of this video that goes through a full list of that. But the main things that you want to make sure that you have in your carry on bag are your medications, if you take any, and your boarding documents, your identification, your boarding pass, your passport, whatever it may be. Make sure you have those in your carry on bag. If you're the type that likes to get in the pool when you get on the ship, you may want to go ahead and pack you a swimsuit, also a change of clothes. Your luggage is not going to be at your room when you go to get in your room. And sometimes it takes a while for your luggage to get there. So having a change of clothes in your carry on bag is, a little bit more convenient.
Yeah, my carry on. We do have the actual carry on luggage, but usually I pack a lot of my stuff in the book bag carry on, and she has her own little day bag, day bag.
Okay, next tip is keep your documents handy. Like I mentioned in the last tip, please put your embarkation day, your boarding documents in your carry on bag. When you get to the port, you're going to give your luggage to the porter. You need to keep your carry on bag and make sure your documents are in that carry on. If you put your documents in your checked bag, that bag is going under the ship.
Mm.
When you get on the ship to go through check in and you don't have your documents, more than likely you're not going on a cruise that day because there's really no way for them to get under the ship and sort through all of that luggage to find your bag so you can get your documents. So just keep them handy. Another thing that we do is we have our documents scanned into PDF form and I have them saved in my email. So that way, if some freak accident happens, I still have our passports in a PDF form on my phone and they're saved in my Google Drive.
Yeah, this is one of those times that having a backup to the backup can help save a lot of stress for you. So definitely make sure you have those on hand. She usually has it in a folder. That way, everything once we get up there, you can just hand them the stuff as they need it, but also have it on your phone and in your email because if your phone's not working, we can pull it up somewhere else. So it's just smart to go ahead and have a backup to the backup because you just did a lot to get here. You definitely don't want to get to that finish line and then have to go back home.
So the next tip is understanding how Carnival's luggage drop off process works. So when you get to the port, they're going to have you pull up if you're dropping off luggage. There are going to be porters standing there who are going to take your checked luggage from you. They're going to make sure that you have a luggage tag on there with your name, the ship that you're going on, what room you're in. Then they're going to take your luggage, put it on a cart. It's going in the bottom of the ship. We always make sure that we tip our porters. We generally do $5 per bag. So drop your bags off with the porters, get back in our car, we drive up and we park. The only luggage we're taking on the ship with us are our carry on bags and our backpacks. So, the next set of tips is going to be once you get on board the ship. First thing that I always recommend everyone do is tackle your muster drill strategy. Now, a lot of times it's just the two of us. We're in the same room, so we have the same muster station. If we go on a cruise with our children, we're booked in different rooms, so we have different muster stations. So we always check in the app to see where our muster stations are. We go directly to our muster stations and get it over with because we don't want them calling our name over the loudspeaker
You do not want
once the
that.
cruise has started.
Don't be that person.
Please just do your muster drill and get it over with. Like when you first get on the ship, especially if you get on early like we do, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, you can eat and you can drink. You can't go to your room because it's not ready yet. So just go ahead and get your muster station done and over with. So, our next tip, dress smart for embarkation day. So, our recommendation is be comfortable. You're going to
Yes.
be doing a lot of walking because you're going to have to walk from the parking deck to the ship. You're going to have to snake around the line to get up to get the check in. Then you're going to have to walk to get on the actual ship. Then you're going to have to walk to your muster drill, this, that. You're going to be doing a lot of walking. So wear comfortable shoes if you can. Ladies, it's not the time for the 6-inch heels like Beyonce said. Put you on some tennis shoes or some comfortable sandals. um Shorts and a t-shirt. If you're sailing out of Florida like we always do, it's hot, and it doesn't really matter what time of year you sail out of Florida, it's hot down there. So wear something cool, wear something comfortable, and the majority of the time you're going to be outside until your room is ready, and it's hot out there, so just be comfortable.
Yeah, and another tip that I learned from stress free cruising, if you are a swimmer, wear your bathing suit or your swim trunks under your stuff so that it makes it a lot easier for you to change into your stuff because a lot of people on the first day want to get in the pool while you're waiting on your room to get ready. So that's definitely something to think about when you're being comfortable. As for a guy, man, have those slides or those tennis shoes because it's going to be a lot of walking.
Okay, the next tip is going to be book the popular activities as soon as you get on the ship. So if you're on one of the bigger ships that has boats and you know you want to go on boat, go ahead and book it as soon as you get on the cruise because on sea days, those bookings are going to fill up because everybody's going to want to ride boat. So just go ahead and book that stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, and also anything that needs a reservation, go on there and look because that stuff really does fill up really fast. So you definitely want to, even if like you didn't book your specialty dining before you got on because you didn't care about a specific date and time. Once you get on, you need to book it right then because it may fill up and you might not even get a chance to do it at all. So definitely make sure that anything that requires reservations, you go on there and look to see if it's something you want to do and try to get it as soon as possible.
So these next tips are going to be about settling in and exploring the ship. So we've mentioned it before, but your room is not going to be ready until 1:30 unless you're platinum or diamond or you have a suite. But they also ask that you just don't go in your room and just chill out even if you are at those levels. So if you're platinum, diamond or you have a suite, they ask that you just go to your room, drop your luggage off and then head back out. So go ahead, explore the ship. If you know, I want to eat at this particular restaurant or I want to go to this particular bar, go ahead and walk around the ship and find out where those things are.
Yeah, finding out for me, going and walking around the ship gives me a good feel for the navigation of the ship. There's some ships that are open, and there's some ships that you have to do some stuff to get around things. You want to know that before time to kind of know how early you need to leave out to do stuff. You kind of know the sections. You're getting familiar with the ship. You go, okay, I'm over here, I'm over there. What I like over here, some of the stuff I like over there. It just gives you a better feeling for the whole vibe of the ship, also. And a lot of times you find out and find little nooks and areas that you didn't even realize the ship had, and you go, "Oh man, I kind of like that. I would think I want to come back to here." So take the time if you're not sitting down eating to kind of explore the ship and get a feel for what's going on the ship so far.
Another thing that I will say is find the main dining room where you will be eating dinner go ahead and find it on Embarkation Day because you don't want to wait until it's time to go to dinner and you've already checked in the app and it tells you you have 10 minutes to get there, and then you go across the deck and you can't get in on that level. So you have to go up a level, go across, and then come down to get to the dining room. And then sometimes they're going to give your table away if you take too much time. So go ahead and find the dining room you're supposed to be eating in and find out how to get in the entrance before it's time to go to dinner.
Speaking from experience.
All right. The next tip is for those of you who have younger kids. Find out where the kids club is and go ahead and sign your kids up on Embarkation Day. That way they're already in the system and that's not something that you have to worry about later.
Yeah, I think that'll be good for if you have kids or traveling with kids, like grandkids or something like that. Also, for the kids, if you get them in there early, they can make friends, meet the counselors, and then that way you're not just dropping them off cold turkey. They can look forward to going to it because they've seen what's going on down in the kids zone.
All right, these next tips are for when you actually are able to access your cabin. So the rooms are going to be ready at 1:30. They'll make an announcement over the loudspeaker. You can go down. For first timers, when you get to your room, there'll be almost like a little mailbox. It's like a little sign that has your room number on it. They also put letters and stuff in there. So your sign and sale card is going to be in a little envelope in there. Open it up, make sure your information is correct. That's also going to be your room key. That's also going to be how you pay for things on board. So get in your room and make sure that everything is okay.
Mhm.
Look around, make sure that there's nothing missing, make sure that it's not dirty. The last time we went on celebration, they had opened the divider in between the balconies. And so we couldn't get out on our balcony because it was blocked. So we had to let our room steward know so he could come and fix it. Usually, when you first get to your room steward is going to be walking up and down the hallway. So you'll be able to meet them. They usually give you a card with their name and information on there. So if something is wrong in your room, just step out in the hallway. Your room steward is going to come out eventually and just let them know whatever it is, and they'll make sure they get that taken care of immediately.
Yeah, one of the common things is if you're a couple and you go into the room, the beds may not be together. They may be sitting as two twins. They can come in and fix that. And if you are going in and you're not a couple, you can have them take the beds and make them two separate beds.
All right. So the next topic is the luggage waiting game. Normally, it only takes about an hour or so to get our luggage. We don't usually even wait on our luggage. We just drop our carry ons and then we go back out so we can get to the sail away party. If you get back a couple hours later and your luggage is not there, let your room steward know or contact guest services. It may have been that they accidentally put it on the wrong hallway or your luggage tag got ripped off. So just know that your luggage is not going to be at your room at 1:30. Sometimes it's a fluke and it is. Usually it's not.
Mhm.
So if you're preparing to go to like maybe a specialty dinner that night or something like that, you might want to bring your nicer clothes. Also, your toiletries in your carry on.
Mhm.
That way you can go ahead and take a shower before you go to dinner.
Yeah, and two things on that. One, before you go to guest services, check the whole hallway. They may have put it at the wrong room. And also another tip I learned from Stress Free is take a picture of your luggage so that you will have something to show because trying to describe it may not be good enough. But if they have a picture, then they can take that picture below and actually look for your specific luggage.
All right, the next tip is go to the sail away party. If weather is permitting, go to the sail away. You are going to have the time of your life. Even if you don't want to get out there and do the line dances with everybody, Just watching everybody out there dancing, having a good time is so fun because they're going to do the little circle where they have certain people come out and dance and they put it up on the Jumbotron and it's always hilarious. So just go out there and have a good time.
Yeah, and it's really the start of your vacation, especially for Carnival. Like once that sail away starts and it's time to have a ball. And like she said, even if you don't want to be down in the crowd, a lot of the decks have places you can actually look down on the sell away party, so you don't have to be in the full crowd of people, and it's usually showing up on the jumbotron. So you definitely can get out there, have a great time, see the port as it's leaving, and just really get your cruise started the right way, especially after all the stress you went through to get onto the cruise.
All right, so these have been our tips for having a smooth embarkation day on your Carnival cruise.
And if you found these tips helpful, please click that like button. That way, YouTube can send it out to other people that it could benefit from learning some of the stress free things to do on their embarkation day. Until next time, peace.
Bye.